Well, hello everyone and welcome. I am so genuinely grateful that you have been able to make time to be here today to watch this video or to be live on here with me. And I just want to give you a round of applause for choosing to invest time into your own well-being. I know that that is a real challenge when life is so full and so demanding. But it says so much about your heart and your desire for something more. So whether you're here because you're wrestling with hot flashes that just show up at the worst times, or you're tired because of sleepless nights, or maybe you're just sensing that a new season is on the horizon and you want to feel prepared, please know that you're in the right place and you are welcome here. This is a safe space. So before we dive in, I would like to share a little bit about myself and why this topic is so close to my heart. So, my name is Krista Lowe. I'm the founder of Life Abundant Wellness, and my journey into holistic health and natural options, it was not a straight path. After it began, after I spent a little over 10 years in the Western healthcare model, working in that healthcare model as a speech language pathologist. And then I began facing my own confusing and stubborn health challenges that traditional medicine just couldn't resolve and couldn't give me answers for. So I felt frustrated, I felt lost, but through a lot of prayer and through some gentle nudges from the Holy Spirit, um, I began a holistic journey that has brought me so many more answers and so much more wholeness in my life. And a few years ago, I stepped out in faith and left my career to become a certified aromatherapy coach and a licensed spiritual health coach. And I launched my own wellness practice. So today, my deepest passion is to walk alongside women just like you, especially busy moms, and empower you to learn how to listen to your body and to explore faith-based healing and embrace practical natural solutions for your well-being. So I know this path can totally feel overwhelming. I have been there and sometimes I'm still there, but please know that you're not alone. I truly believe that every woman deserves to thrive through all of life's seasons and not just survive them. So thank you for being here and let's get started. I'm going to share my screen here so that you can see the slides that I have prepared. Because if you're like me, I like a visual. Let's see if I can. Full screen. There we go. Okay, so welcome to our menopause essentials. So, just a quick poll. I would love to know, you can put your answer in the chat. When you think about how much you know about your hormones and menopause or perimenopause, which of these best describes where you're at right now? Are you a student, learning a lot, starting to connect the dots? You know enough to know something's off, but have no idea what to do about it. Um, Are you pretty sure that your hormones are running the show and you're just along for the wild ride? Or honestly, maybe you're just trying to think about it because it feels too big and too overwhelming. So if you'll drop your answer in the chat or in the comments, that will just help me to know where you're at and help me um, to know how to best meet your needs. All right. Okay. Thank you. Oh, there we go. So, before we dive into like what to do about menopause and perimenopause, it really helps to know what we're talking about. So menopause and perimenopause. Menopause is a natural stage of life for women, and it's marked like the definition, depending on which definition you look at or who you talk to. It is at least 6 months, but most definitions say 12 months, so full calendar year with an absence of a menstrual period. Now, most often that starts to occur around the age of 51 in the US. That age can vary depending on where you are in the world. But natural menopause occurs when your ovaries have shut down the production of the sex hormones. So this, again, this occurs naturally. Just your body after the time that you're finished being fertile, it just starts to wind down production and fertility. Now, sometimes we have like a man-made menopause, which occurs whenever the ovaries have been removed, such as with surgery like hysterectomies. So the real transition happens during perimenopause. Those are the months or sometimes years leading up to the onset of menopause. Now, for most women, perimenopause is the time when the most misery comes regarding the change, if you've ever heard it called that. So this is when hormone levels begin to drop, but they fluctuate widely for many women. And the adrenal glands in this phase begin to take over for the ovaries for the primary production for these sex hormones. So the sex hormone production doesn't stop completely in the body. It just shifts from the ovaries producing a lot of those hormones to the adrenals producing smaller amounts of those. So this is a time when hormone production, those shifts and those fluctuations can trigger lots of symptoms like hot flashes, mood swings, sleep trouble, and brain fog. And again, it's a universal and sometimes messy part of every woman's journey. Now, the bad news about menopause and perimenopause is that they are unavoidable for women as they age. And you may see that as bad news. Some women actually look forward to, the end of having their periods, and that phase of life. But there is good news for all of us, and that is that there is a lot that we can do to support our hormones, which support our body and help to keep it full of vitality even during menopause. There we go. So when we're talking about again menopause, it helps to understand like what's going on before we enter menopause. So before we hit perimenopause, we have our menstrual cycle. And that begins for most women when we're in our early teens, sometimes late tweens. And with the menstrual cycle, that is basically like a dance between estrogen and progesterone in our body. And that cycle balances those at certain levels. The levels fluctuate throughout the month, but it's based on our monthly rhythms during that fertile time in our life. And the whole purpose of those are to promote ovulation and to promote pregnancy if that were to occur, if the ovulated egg, if that were to be fertilized. So now, as perimenopause begins, ovulation begins to become irregular, and those hormone levels that usually, normally should have a nice, ebb and flow to them. Those hormone levels, especially progesterone, start to fluctuate and drop. And that is often what leads to symptoms like poor sleep and anxiety, and irritability. So why is it that menopause is so difficult today? So it's been around since women have been around. And it does seem like we hear a lot more about it being so difficult nowadays because I think it is more difficult. And part of that reason is because of our exposure to toxins. We're exposed to so many more hormone disrupting chemicals and plastics than ever before, than any generation before. And those things can confuse our glands, and make it harder for them to produce the right hormones, the right amounts of hormones. And it also burdens our liver. Our liver actually plays a really important role with hormone balance because it helps to remove the excess hormones or the unused hormones that we have circulating in our body. The liver processes those out and helps to get rid of them. And that's one way that we keep the proper balance of hormones. So if we are overloaded with toxins in our body, it makes it really difficult for our liver to keep up with that demand to keep our hormones balanced. So also nutritional deficiencies. Um, let's face it, the food we eat nowadays is not the food that our grandparents and our great grandparents and beyond raised and ate. Most of our modern diets, most foods are low in key nutrients, such as B vitamins, magnesiums, healthy fats, and those are all essential for hormone production. And then last, we have chronic stress. I mean, now, so stress is not new. There's nothing new under the sun when it comes to that. But we do tend to have a lifestyle nowadays that it seems like we never get a break from stress, or it's really hard, really difficult to get a break from stress. So ongoing stress ramps up cortisol, which creates strain on the adrenal glands, and that strains our hormone production. That makes it even harder for our bodies to prioritize healthy hormone balance. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I'm a little heavy on that wheel on my mouse. All right. So the hormones of menopause, when we're talking about hormone changes and hormone fluctuations, what we're talking about are mainly these five hormones here. So we're talking about estrogen and progesterone and testosterone, also DHEA and pregnenolone. So as you can see in the graph here, um, again, progesterone is the one that really starts to drop off first. That's the one that's in that teal green color. And but all of these main hormones work together to support our energy, our mood, our memory, our sleep, our bone strength, and more. And as these hormones naturally decline through perimenopause and menopause, we begin to experience the many wonderful symptoms of, and the physical and emotional changes that are tied to this transition. So we're going to talk a little bit about what it looks like whenever you do begin to see drops in some of these specific hormones. So when you begin to see a decrease in progesterone is the main hormone. The main purpose of progesterone is um, to help women to get pregnant and to stay pregnant. It's in the name, like what that hormone does. It's progesterone. But it's not just for women of childbearing age. Progesterone is critically important in all female bodies. Two of its other main functions are regulating menstrual cycles and balancing the effects of estrogen. That part right there is key for us in any age. Recent discoveries have shown that progesterone receptors are on many of the individual cells and maybe on every cell in the female body. But it's especially heavily concentrated in the female areas, such as the breasts and the reproductive system. Progesterone plays a very important role for happy menopause, and it's also a major player in our nervous system, especially our brain, because it is neuroprotective, meaning it helps to protect the neurons in the brain. It also influences emotional processing, think PMS and PMS support, and it has tons of cardiovascular benefits at healthy levels. So when we begin to see progesterone decrease, that often shows up as hot flashes and insomnia, mood swings, and brain fog. And again, those are some of the first symptoms that most women begin to experience during perimenopause because progesterone is the first hormone that really starts to drop off in that time. So estradiol is the form of estrogen that's produced by the ovaries. Estrogen is responsible for feminizing women's bodies. It's what makes women women. Like it makes us look like women. It makes us soft and nurturing and loving. It helps to prepare our uterus for pregnancy. So that's part of what makes us that loving and affectionate. It's estrogen is what helps to bring that out in us. And it's also responsible for maintaining many body tissues and functions, including our memory. So, leading up to menopause, estradiol production drops and then eventually goes away. Loss of estradiol results in wrinkled skin, soft bones. It can result in vascular inflammation, which can increase the risk of heart disease and strokes. It also contributes to hair loss and rapid aging. None of those are good things, am I right? And so the last hormone that decreases in perimenopause is testosterone. Now, I know what you may be thinking, like, isn't that the hormone for men? Well, it is, but it's not just for men. So obviously, men have a lot more testosterone than we do, and we have a lot more estrogen and progesterone than they do. But we all have some of all of those hormones. But it actually plays a very important role in females too. So loss of testosterone can result in loss of muscle mass in women, but also dryness in our mucous membranes, such as our eyes, our mouth, and even our vagina, which can be extremely painful dryness at times. It can also show up as loss of energy and loss of libido and more. So it's really important to be able to recognize maybe which hormone you may need support with by looking at the symptoms that you're having, and then that can help you to be able to identify like more targeted support of all of those or each hormone, whichever one that you're wanting to improve. So now, what I also wanted to show you is the hormone cascade. Excuse me. So the hormone cascade, what I like about this is that I know it can look a little confusing or a lot confusing, but it's basically, a flow chart that shows kind of what hormones begin as and which hormones turn into other hormones. So there's a lot of building blocks at play whenever it comes to different hormones in our body. But at the very, very top, you see that cholesterol is there. So cholesterol is the foundation for making your key hormones, including our sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, also DHEA, which is a building block that is used to make other hormones, and even cortisol. So cholesterol is critical for you to have healthy hormones. Cholesterol is a good thing. You won't hear that sometimes in the mainstream medical world. But without enough healthy cholesterol, your body cannot produce these hormones effectively. And that can lead to symptoms and to imbalances. So I know that there can be times whenever, we may have unhealthy levels of certain types of cholesterol. But really, many times those can be managed with healthy diets and with lifestyle. But what you really want to do is you want to support those good cholesterol levels that are used to produce our hormones. So to support your body with healthy cholesterol, it's important to include nutrient-rich fats like avocado, olive oil, wild-caught salmon, and pasture-raised eggs in your meals. And you can also focus on liver-loving foods such as leafy greens and beets, and even like free range or grass-fed animal liver, like beef liver, can be supportive of your liver too. And you also want to make stress management a daily habit because what happens whenever you are stressed is that it can actually, you see on the left side of the screen there, here cholesterol first is converted into pregnenolone, and then pregnenolone sometimes is converted into DHEA to the right, or it's converted into progesterone. But if we have high levels of stress, our body takes that progesterone and converts it through this sequence here into cortisol. Because cortisol is more important for our immediate survival in times of stress than progesterone is. And we're talking like, think about like back in, like thousands of years ago, whenever if we were in times of stress, we needed to be able to survive those times of stress. Like stress back then is not the same as stress today, most of the time. So whenever we are too stressed, it actually robs our body of progesterone because it forces it to turn that into cortisol. So that is why stress management can be so key for many people, many women, and helping their hormones to be balanced. Let's see, trying to see. There we go. All right. So now The good news is that we have lots and lots of ways to support our bodies with simple and meaningful changes to help support our hormones naturally. We can nourish ourselves with nutrient-dense foods that are whole foods. We can also add targeted supplements and when they're helpful, and then we can find ways to actively manage stress. And for some, exploring gentle hormone-friendly fasting can also unlock extra levels of hormone balance. So when we can care for these areas, we give our bodies what they need to move toward greater hormone balance and find just overall harmony, one small step at a time. So when it comes to balancing our hormones naturally, um, it starts with the basics, and it's not complicated. Um, Basics, number one, the foundation is our food. You want to fill your meals, fill your plates with nutrient-dense foods and healthy fats. Again, think avocado, wild salmon, even grass-fed butter, because that helps to give your body the necessary cholesterol that it needs to turn into hormones. Um, then you can add in some simple calming practices. Walks are amazing, especially if you can walk outdoors. That's amazing for managing stress. You could also do some deep breathing practices, maybe some gentle yoga, quiet prayer. All these things can help to ease stress. And then there's also targeted supplements. So if you're doing all these things and still not finding the right balance that you need for stress, sometimes supplements can be helpful. And then also, again, hormone-specific fasting. Gentle intermittent fasting can be a great way if it feels right for your body. Now, I do recommend that, especially if you're still cycling, I do recommend following fast, like, oh goodness, Dr. Mindy Pels is amazing on this topic, like women, like the right ways to fast for your hormones, for women specifically. She has a book called Fast Like a Girl, and she was one of the first ones that really put the pieces together that if you are still having a cycle, so if you're still having a period, um, we can't do long-term intermittent fasting day in and day out like men do, or like postmenopausal women. There are changes that happen within our cycle that we need to not fast. We actually need to feast to help support healthy hormone balance. So if that's something you're interested in and you want more info about, drop that in the comments and I can connect you to some resources of hers and some videos. But sometimes for some women, fasting the right way can really help to unlock like next level hormone healing. So I definitely recommend taking a look at that. So we're talking about supplements. This supplement here is it's a relatively new one, just came out this past summer from Young Living, but it's so amazing. It's really a game changer supplement. So it's called Daily Hormone Essentials, and this is just a product that makes our hormone journey so much simpler. It comes in a pouch. I've got one here. If you can see me on the screen, and it's there on that screen. But this is a single one one supplement plant-based solution for pretty much all the seasons in women's lives. It's perfect if you're dealing with PMS, if you are walking through perimenopause, or if you are postmenopausal. So it's a hormone-free supplement that is designed to bring your body back into balance naturally. Because it's hormone-free, it's safe for women who may need to avoid like traditional hormone replacement therapy for a variety of medical reasons. Um, and it's safe for all those of us who are okay with that too. So the amazing thing about this supplement is it supports healthy energy levels, it supports a more stable mood, it promotes restful sleep, it helps to balance your cortisol levels. It brings real comfort, like research-based comfort in clinical trials have shown that this works to help with challenging symptoms like hot flashes, night sweats, and fatigue. And it does it all without sugar and without the side effects that you might see from traditional hormone therapies. And it comes in a simple travel-friendly sachet, so it's super easy to make it part of your daily routine. So there used to be other things that I would recommend that women start with. And sometimes it was kind of hard to know what was right for an individual woman because it might be that they might need, help with this, certain hormones here or different hormones over here. But this daily hormone essentials is just the great starting point now that I'm recommending for pretty much every woman um, who has any kind of hormone challenges, even if it's not like menopause related, because it just has so many good things that are good. Like it may not seem menopause or perimenopause related, but it's just crazy how widely those hormones affect our bodies. So this is a great like building block foundational hormone supplement now. So let's take a look at what's inside of it. What makes it so amazing? So first, it is a blend of clinically studied botanicals and adaptogens that work together to help your body find balance, to find its equilibrium. So first, if you see the first three ingredients there on the left, it is formulated with this herbal complex featuring botanicals like red giant angelica root extract, and also the Sycantium root extract and the Socdan root extracts. So this herbal complex has been clinically studied and shown to promote comfort through menopausal curveballs like hot flashes, night sweats, and fatigue. It actually helped to improve 12 different menopausal symptoms in clinical trials and was shown to have 62% better results than placebo. And trial participants reported zero side effects of typical hormone replacement therapy. So it also contains maca root for natural energy, chasteberry, which is a wonderful herb for keeping that hormonal roller coaster in check, especially with PMS symptoms. Like it is amazing for progesterone. Then we have ashwagandha, which I call the chill out root. It's an adaptogen that helps your body to manage stress. It supports balanced cortisol, and it promotes mental clarity and restful sleep. Finally, it has magnesium for muscle relaxation and a calm nervous system, plus a blend of essential oils like our deep spectra frankincense squared extract, clary sage, lavender, fennel, davana, and ylang ylang, all of which are beneficial for either calming our nervous system, calming our emotions, or balancing our hormones. So it really is a truly thoughtful formulation, and it's designed to be gentle enough for daily use, but effective enough to make a real difference in how you feel. So I have been using this now consistently for over 2 months, and I did see some improvements in my sleep, like the duration of my sleep, less wakefulness during the night. Saw that pretty quickly within a few days. But really, it took a little over a month of me drinking this consistently. And I started seeing then like improved focus, improved mental clarity. It also started balancing out my cycle. So my cycle, I'm 47, so I'm right in that perimenopausal window. And my cycle had started to become like more, no, I won't say irregular, but my periods were coming closer together, which I did not like. And since I've been taking this regularly, now they have started to balance back out to more of my normal cycle length. And I've been prone to having menstrual migraines for years. Gosh, at least 10 years now, almost, or 8 years, I think, from that dip in progesterone. And and then also some symptoms related to PMS, a little bit of irritation, more easily irritated or triggered, and breast tenderness. Um, and the past two periods that I've had, like I said, I've been on this for it's probably going on 3 months now. The past two periods have been so smooth, so easily onset. Um, and the only time that I am having any trouble with headaches is if I forget to take my progesterone, the Progessence Plus, which we'll talk about here in a minute. And I've used that for years in the evening. But um, that, though, alone was not enough to keep away the migraines that I was having. And now, since I've added this in, they've disappeared as long as I'm maintaining both of those. So that is like awesome, awesome, awesome. Um, so a couple other foundational essentials that I think are great for us to cover. One is Ningxia Red. So Ningxia Red, you may see me talking about it on Facebook as my Ultimate Mom Pick Me Up juice. And if you've seen my hormone hot toddy that I make at nighttime, that's what it is. It's the hormone daily hormone essentials and Ningxia Red. I mix them together and then add some hot water, like a tea, and it is just so good. It's become like my nighttime bedtime routine, and it helps me to just kind of calm down and unwind because Ningxia Red is just great nutrition. It's a whole food antioxidant supplement. And it's clinically shown to reduce stress, improve energy, and support restful sleep. So, and it has magnesium, high amounts of magnesium in it, and potassium, and some B vitamins. But and all these are naturally, like nothing is added to it, like no synthetic vitamins or anything are added to it. But it pairs really well with the daily hormone essentials because they both kind of target a lot of the same needs. And so to add one on top of the other just kind of enhances the effects of either one. Um, Now, um, Master Formula is also a great option. It's a comprehensive multi-nutrient complex. So you can think of it as essentially like your one a day. It's like a nutritional insurance policy to help fill in any gaps and support your energy and immunity and overall hormonal health. Um, One thing that I love about Master Formula is it has, and Ningxia Red, they both have a lot of zinc in them. And if you want some good information. I recommend Dr. Dan Purser on the importance of zinc, but he says many times he can help remedy a lot of hormonal imbalances just by adding in zinc as a nutrient, as a supplement. So both of these are good sources of that, which is why we see improvements with our hormones when we use them. Um, Now I have to make a plug for the 14-day reset. Excuse me. For those who love structure and love the community and love doing things as a community and having that kind of support and encouragement, the 14-day reset is a fantastic way to kickstart healthy habits. And it incorporates Ningxia Red and a flexible, approachable nutrition plan, lifestyle changes. All these are aimed at just making small, consistent changes to help reset your body. And many, many, many women who do have hormone difficulties who do the 14-day reset see improvements with it because it's incorporating in a lot of what we've already been talking about that we need to do. Good nutrition, stress management, lifestyle changes, exercise, movement. And all of these are packaged into the 14-day reset, along with just consuming a whole lot of Ningxia Red in those 14 days. So it's amazing, amazing, amazing. And it's just a great way to kind of get kicked off in a good way. So again, many women who do the reset report better sleep, more stable energy, and reduced stress. So if you would like to see more testimonials like this, just let me know. I'm happy to send them your way. So another question that I get asked a lot is about hormone replacement therapy, um, to replace or not to replace hormones. Um, my personal philosophy, and again, I am not a physician, okay? I'm not a hormone doctor, but this is just Krista's opinion. My philosophy is always to start with the least invasive supports first. And those are those things that we just went over, like the basics, the foundational things for just good general health, that can also be helpful for hormones. However, for some women, hormone replacement therapy can be a helpful tool. Now, my personal opinion is that plant-based hormone replacement therapy, which is it's bioidentical, so that means that it has the plants have compounds that align with your body's natural chemistry, and are very chemically similar to what naturally occurs in our body for hormones. Um, so I believe that when possible, I have a preference for doing plant-based hormone replacement therapy, if needed. The benefits of plant-based HRT is that it has fewer side effects compared to synthetic HRT. It does still have effective relief for hot flashes, mood swings, and sleep issues for many, many women, while at the same time carrying reduced risks of serious complications such as cardiovascular issues and cancer. Um, Now, some experts advocate for a 10-year window, which they suggest that starting hormone replacement therapy within 10 years of menopause, that offers more benefits of the hormone replacement therapy, and fewer risks. This is a conversation, though, to have with a trusted healthcare provider. Or spend a lot of time, or not a lot of time, but spend some time in prayer with the one that I believe is the great physician. But for some women, not like it may not be enough just to do these things that we've already talked about up to this point. They may need to actually look at getting some plant-based HRT to help get them adequate relief of their symptoms. So one of those, or some of those options in that department, in this category, targeted solutions of essential oils. So Progessence Plus serum is a beautiful serum. I love this one. This is the one I mentioned that I put on every night. And that's because it supports progesterone levels, and which supports restful sleep. So I like to put it on at night, to help make sure that I'm getting more restful sleep. It promotes emotional stability as well. And the key ingredient in Progessence Plus is a wild yam extract, which is a natural plant-based progesterone. So it is bioidentical. Our bodies tend to absorb it very, very well. And it also has essential oils in it that help with calming and promoting sleep and promoting hormone balance. One of the hormones that is, or well, I'm sorry, one of the oils that is in Progessence Plus is clary sage. And clary sage is known to help balance estrogen levels, ease cramps, and relieve mood swings. Some other options that you could consider would be, or could be, sclerescence and lady sclereol. These are essential oil blends that have clary sage, as well as additional hormone supporting oils, and they are formulated for specific needs, or just again enhanced needs. Like if clary sage alone isn't enough, then using these blends where there's multiple oils may be able to provide you with the balance that you're looking for. Um, and then on this slide, we have the oils of Endoflex and Myrtle. These are incredible for supporting your thyroid and metabolism. And now these again can be used, they can be used separately, used individually, but I highly recommend combining them with the daily hormone essentials. Like again, this one is like a foundational support for me. So if you want specifically like targeted again thyroid support, Daily Hormone Essentials has ingredients in it that can help with that, in addition to your female hormone support. Um, and that can also support your metabolism. Thyroid, thyroid balance promotes balanced emotions and just again helps with overall hormone support. Um, Now, Mr. and Mountain Savory are options for those of us who may need to enhance our testosterone levels naturally. And again, the effects of, having healthy testosterone levels in women Includes boosted energy, improved muscle tone, and libido. Well, last but not least, we're also going to cover some supplements, not just essential oils, but supplements that do contain essential oils. Cortistop is designed to help your body manage cortisol levels. So remember how we talked about how when we're under, prolonged periods of stress or chronic stress, that can rob our body of progesterone by turning it into cortisol. Well, Cortistop helps to restore that balance, and it can help reduce cortisol levels, which can ease stress. It can improve adrenal function, and it can also help balance your progesterone levels because then you're not having so much cortisol overproduction. PD 8020 is a supplement that provides more pregnenolone and DHEA support for hormone production. So remember, those two are building blocks that our body uses to make all of the sex hormones in our body. So, and our natural levels of those tend to decrease with age as well. So, PD 8020 can be a great, sometimes an everyday supplement for some. Some people just need it every once in a while. But it's a great like tool to have in your hormone toolbox. And then Femigen. Femigen is that is the supplement that has been traditionally like our menopause supplement that's recommended from our Young Living lineup. It combines phytoestrogens and essential nutrients for hormonal and adrenal stability. So Femigen is one of those that I have taken also regularly for a while, but I'm seeing that the effects of it are being enhanced by this daily hormone essentials. I have tried just a day or two of like reducing my Femigen, and a day or two of like skipping the daily hormone essentials, and I can tell when I do either or, um, in different ways. So I personally take both because I see the effects are just so good, that I want to maintain my hormonal and my adrenal stability. So again, a few other targeted solutions in supplement form. Super B. So B vitamins are just like B vitamins are essential vitamins, essential nutrients that our bodies do not produce. We have to consume them to replace them on a regular basis. So Super B is a B complex vitamin with bioavailable B vitamins with methylated forms for the ones that need methylated versions. And they are essential for energy and for adrenal health. And again, zinc, it's vital for estrogen and progesterone production. So, zinc is found 100% of our daily value is in master formula, and then 20% is in Super B. So, where do we go from here? I know that was a lot of information. um, but the goal is for you to feel empowered, not overwhelmed. So I thought I had, do I not have a QR code on this screen? I do not. I apologize. Um, so in my in-person class, I have a QR code on a handout. So the QR code explores, it takes you to a document to explore the products that we talked about. So I have that in a link form that I can send you all who are watching this online with me. Um, so if that is something that you would like, please send me a message. When we finish here, send me just a message on Facebook, or if you have my number to text me, just ask me for the link to the product guide from the hormone class, and I will send that over to you. And then if you want more personalized guidance, schedule the one-on-one coaching session with me. I would be happy to just get together with you and discuss what your current situation is, what your needs are, and see if we can't come up with a plan to fit what you need. But just remember that small, steady steps are what create big results over time. So you can start building hormonal balance now just by doing some of those things that we said were foundational. Good whole nutrition, reducing stress, excuse me, and considering, maybe take a look at intermittent fasting as a those are three things that you can start doing right away that costs little to nothing, um, and that are just needed anyway. So, wrapping up here, I just want to give you a big thank you. So thank you so much for being here with me. And please remember that you are not on this journey alone. No matter which step you take, know that every step forward is a victory. So we can move together with faith, with curiosity, and with gentleness for ourselves. You are stronger than you know, and you've got this. So if you have any questions, I'll be right here to chat afterwards, or just reach out with a private message. So thank you so much for joining me. And I'm going to hop on here. I'm going to stop the recording and stick around to see if you have any questions.